Hey guys, how's it going? Firebox here. I want to share with you a brand new PvE co-op extraction game currently out in alpha testing that you can play right now for free on Steam called Expedition Into Darkness, where your goal is to explore a dark dungeon with the hope of fighting your way out to collect valuables, to upgrade your camp, your character, and complete merchant quests. Like other extraction games, if you die, all gear will be lost, and the only way to secure your items is to find an extraction point. Currently, there's 2 extraction points in the game. One at the start of the dungeon, you can take at any time, and the other one you have to find for yourself through exploring. There's also a variety of weapons you can choose from, similar to Dark and Darker, that include melee weapons, shields, bows, and some magic. That is all planned to be expanded upon for full release sometime later this year. I played this game for a few hours yesterday, and I wanted to give you my own personal opinion on how I felt about this game. I want to talk about the pros and the cons of what I think the game could do better coming up for full release. Let's go ahead and start with what I thought the game did well. First of all, the graphics look great. The dungeon-like feel where the dark feels impactful was a really nice change of pace. When I played in a team, there's no name tags over your teammates, and it's very easy to get lost or for them to just kind of get engulfed because of how dark it gets. The gameplay was also pretty enjoyable. Killing hordes of zombie-like creatures with melee weapons, bows was pretty fun, especially with a team behind you. And I did also enjoy the bosses they added to the game. However, the bosses with a full team of 5 were very easy to fight, and the bosses as a solo are very hard to fight. You're going to see in the gameplay behind, I do end up just cheesing the boss as a solo. A little bit of bug testing to see if it worked, and it absolutely does. I'm sure it'll get fixed, but just know if you fight them solo, you're going to have a really hard time. If you fight them as a team, once you get used to it, it won't be too bad. Just use a bow and you'll be fine. The weapon customization the game has is also pretty interesting, adding more depth to your character, giving you more options with the same weapon. You can also change the look of the weapons, and you can add different attachments to your armor as well. As an example, you can add a candle to your helmet that lets you see better in the dungeon, which I thought was pretty cool. I also found it really enjoyable to have a full group of 5 to cooperatively explore the dungeon. Originally, I was only expecting maybe 2 or 3 other people with you, but to have that many people is quite enjoyable, and it makes for a really fun experience. Now, that said, I have some pretty high hopes for this game. I think the pros are pretty significant, but I do want to talk about some of the cons that I really think should get looked at for full release. Let's start with a big one. There is some lag in bigger groups. Audio can cut out and the game can freeze periodically. It's really bad at times, almost like looking at a slideshow, because they spawn so many mobs. I've been informed that the game is currently on a peer-to-peer, not dedicated server, specifically for the alpha testing. For full release, it'll be dedicated servers. I don't know if this will fix the problem, but regardless, it definitely needs to be addressed before the full release. The second issue I had is with a full group, if one person wants to leave the dungeon because they're low HP or just something happened and they have to go, they have to wait for the rest of the group to leave. If they don't, the entire group is stuck in the dungeon unless they leave and give up their belongings, which I really hope is not the case for full launch. If you want to play with randoms, maybe someone just dips out and you can't leave, that would just get really annoying. So I don't know if that's because specifically of the peer-to-peer that's going on or what, but I kind of hope that you're able to disband from your group if you need to during a dungeon, because the delves can get pretty long. I had some games upwards of 30 minutes, and sometimes stuff happens and you just have to go. So, yeah, I kind of hope that ends up changing. The third issue I have is another really big one, and that's going to regard item bloat. There's a lot of random items in the dungeon, and there truly is just so many of them that it feels less rewarding when you do end up looting that stuff. I would much prefer to find materials that let me craft things at the merchants or the workshop that they have, rather than find a bunch of random attachments that you can't even fit into your backpack because they're so large and your inventory is so small. It kind of reminds me of Tarkov. I've never played that game, but I think that is what this is trying to mimic. But it really just doesn't feel like it works in this game specifically. It's one of those things that you might think looks okay from the outside, but then once you start playing with it, you'll realize it just ends up feeling very cumbersome. I am personally hoping they change how this is currently set up. I would much rather see way less random items and feel better when I loot stuff. But we'll just have to wait and see what the devs decide as far as that goes. The fourth con I have is one that I'm sure will be fixed for the full release, but I still felt it was worth mentioning because I watched the trailer for this game, and it showed some content that is currently non-existent from the alpha test. For example, I saw this guy surrounded by skeletons, and I never saw a single skeleton enemy in the game. So right now, the content is pretty slim. Really a few hours at most before you pretty much do everything the game has to offer. There's 2 bosses, like the demon bat, the ogre, and just zombies. So between the limited mobs, the limited bosses, there's only 1 map and a very small section you can even explore. You're going to notice very quickly you're going to run out of stuff to do. That said, full release, I'm sure will add more content, but there needs to be a significantly more amount of content from what we're currently at. So I hope they do not release the game too soon when they don't have enough content to keep people busy. Because in a PvE game, you know, it's not like Dark and Darker, where the combat can be PvP focused. It is only PvE. I do look forward to hopefully seeing more maps, more mobs, and more bosses that I can explore in the future. And that's going to be everything that I wanted to talk about for this game. If you want to see more content from this in the future, be sure to like the video. It shows me that you enjoy this content. And be sure to comment below also. Tell me what you think about this game. Do you like the look of it? Have you played it yourself? Really interested in your feedback. I'm going to go ahead and let the rest of this gameplay play out, so feel free to stick around if you want to see that, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya. Super, super ridiculous. On coffee? Probably just sellable. Probably. You know, funny, this ogre, you don't even really have to cheese, because he's so slow. You just use a bow, he's just a free kill. But sure does make it easier. Bitter bloom? Oh. Yeah, it gives you some stamina, but it also hurts you. I died when I tried to use it. Very sad. It was very sad. Oh my god, I'm stuck. Oh no. Okay, we're good. Oh my god, I'm getting bind! Oh my god. Okay, these guys have to die. Before I die. I was like stuck in that wall. Oh my god, that was really close. Hey, Alex, welcome. Yep. Got an elbow protection before gloves. I mean, I'm still missing the bottom 3 protection pieces. Unlucky, I guess. This is just the area that has... This is just the dead end spot, right? Yeah, it feels like there's a lot of areas in this game that should have something done to them. And there just isn't anything. Probably just work in progress kind of places. I'm pressing one button. Spot your sword. Okay. It's hard to use that bow when they're starting to swarm you like that. For an alpha, this looks pretty good. Yeah, I think it's good for an alpha, for sure. For like a first impression, besides like the UI is the weak point. I think the weak point has to be the UI of the game, but outside of that, gameplay solely, I think they're doing pretty well. It's gonna take a lot more work. Like they're not done yet, but I like what I see so far. Oh my god. Yeah, if they improve this game, like if they just keep working on it, because it's supposed to come out in September, I think someone told me, I could see this game doing well. It's gonna take some work, but I could see it. There's some weird things where like you can't leave the dungeon if one person is like somewhere else, so if you play with like randoms, you can just get griefed by one person, which would be pretty annoying. Like if you want to, like if you're low HP and you want to leave, you can't leave without the other people leaving, which is kind of annoying. What was that? Why did I just get flung off the freaking... Okay, dude. That's the last time I ever used that little ramp. Okay, buddy, sure. That made sense. It's so stupid. So there are some scenes in the trailer. So here's why I'm confused, why this is the only thing that I've seen. There is a scene in the trailer that I watched earlier where there's like a bunch of skeletons. I haven't even seen a skeleton. So, like, I don't understand where you go from here. I'm just very, very confused what the, like, I don't know where the other content is. I guess it's just not in the alpha, but... Anyway, I'm confused where the other content is that I saw in the trailer, because it's not in the game right now. I know it's not. Bro, if I fall down one more freaking... Uh-oh. It does not take long for the mobs to completely, like, overwhelm us around you, man. My god. Like, it's all fine, and then it's not. Then it's just not. The illusion of choice on gender, and then they use the female yell when falling. Oh, I didn't even touch that. I didn't even touch the character. I didn't even touch the character customization. It's weird how headshots matter, but there's nowhere to aim your swing. It does feel a little bit weird, yeah, when you're... Yeah, I can definitely attest to that a little bit. Because headshots will kill enemies quicker, but trying to aim your weapon for a headshot is an entire different story. It feels weird that there's a lot of different rooms, like this one, that have absolutely no purpose. I'm assuming that it's just because it's an alpha, and they just haven't figured out what they want to do with it yet. It's more of just a placeholder. But there are quite a few rooms that I've noticed that don't have anything. Like, there could be a chest in here or something. But it doesn't really feel like there is anything. Not at the moment.